and we got some great picks today. And we're going to talk about last night's game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Detroit and the Dallas Cowboys. And it always seems to be some kind of drama in certain teams' homes, particularly with the officiating. Um, the Cowboy Stadium is one of those stadiums
Mm-hmm.
where when teams are there visiting, they can't always get a fair shake. And if you ain't directly punching the Cowboys in the face and running them over, then what end up happening is, and it's left up to a last minute drive, chances are officiating is probably going to be your enemy and take the game away. Now, I bring that up because we all seen the game, we all seen the film footage, and the officiating tried to, I guess, tell his version of his story, but his story doesn't match the cameras. And we live in an age today where, it's not hard to rewind the game or check footage for things. So there's no need for anything else but the truth because the footage doesn't lie. Um, I think the league has a problem on their hands because this whole 2023 season uh, has been awful with officiating. And, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but when you're costing teams games due to poor decisions or uncertainty because there's no consequence to you, but these players who work really hard, these coaches, these organizations, even the networks who, and participate in high ratings for games, and then you have these guys on the field that are making really bad judgment calls and just not being held accountable. So if I was the league, how I would address that issue is simple. If you're going to throw that flag in a situation that is going to have a major impact on the game, and your decision is wrong, then you are going to be dealt with, even if that means downgraded or completely removed from the league. Um, so you better make sure that when you're going to make these calls, because it's the integrity of the game that should matter to the league, to all the ownership, the commissioner, the networks. If the fans are going to start to feel that all these games are rigged because you have officials who are taking it upon themselves with their authority, which seems to be untouched, because God help any of the coaches or players that they're going to get fined for speaking up or saying something emotionally and at a time where these men are playing off their adrenaline, their energy, and everything else, then the league should take action and deal with these people. And it should be known to them that before you pull that flag, you better make sure because, listen, uh, you've been trained enough to know what's holding. You've been trained enough to know what hands of the face is. You've been trained enough to know what pass interference is, whether it's offense or defense. You guys know there's certain things that definitely gives away when there's a penalty. So obviously somebody was holding and their jersey's all messed up,
Mm-hmm.
or when they pull the
Yeah.
opposite way, when the ball goes in a different direction, you know there's going to be holding.
Mm-hmm.
Then those penalties need to be called. If you're going to just let the guys play and you're going to not throw your flags throughout the game, then that should stand throughout the game. Um, so I know some of these officiating
Yeah.
crews, some allow these guys to play. They don't always
Yeah.
reach to grab their flag, and then there's some that are oversensitive, and they throw their flags for every little thing. But the integrity of the game is what matters, and if it's all about uh, the integrity not being there, then you're going to start losing sales because people aren't going to want to come and see the games, and networks aren't. People aren't going to want to watch them, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how much entertainment they may be. But nobody wants to have a game end the way
Yeah.
that Detroit game ended, when they clearly won the game, and then it was physically taken away from them due to a bad decision. And if that meant that New York needed to call in and say, hey, wait a minute, then that's what needed to be done. But something needs to change, especially going into 2024. We got the playoffs coming up, and hopefully we're going to see some great matchups when the playoffs kick off. This is week 17. We got one more week left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's hope that these officials um, are going to be on your toes and be fully aware of consequences moving forward. And I really hope the commissioner comes out and make a statement that this is just not going to be acceptable anymore in this league. That you're going to have officials literally costing teams games due to bad calls or no calls. It just can't happen. It's awful. People spend way too much money at these games, the ones that make it to the stadium, for the tickets, the drinks, the foods, the jerseys, everything. To just have all of it ripped away from the fans, from the people who did all the hard work, which is these men on the field. So,
So let's talk about that. Uh, yeah, the game it has time because it's Jimmy Johnson.
yeah, Jimmy was welcome back.
Yeah.
That was exciting to see him back there.
And emotional halftime.
Yes, and to see him and Jerry
Yeah.
there, that was special. There was some special things that took place yesterday in yesterday's game. Lamb went on a tear wearing the number 88 jersey. Yes, single season yardage in a game. Outstanding. Congratulations to you, young man. And so
let's talk about to that game.
Well, no, let's finish with this game, and I'll tell you why. Right, so we need to talk about Goff's play. So look, the Lions is no doubt a much improved team. I feel like Goff, if you're watching this, if you ever get a chance to see this, or your fans get to see this, listen, man, you have great potential. Obviously, you made it to a Super Bowl, played in the Super Bowl. It's timing. You is got to get rid of these balls. We were watching this game last night, and there was too many times you had other people open that was available, and there was times that you were just holding on the ball just a little bit longer. If you had just thrown the ball at these guys' breaks ahead of time, that game would have went smoothly, and you probably would have really blown out the Cowboys. And I get it. If they're jamming your receiver to delay timing and you're held up, you got to know you got 2 and 3 available, or your fourth guy on the field to be able to dump the ball off to. But it has to be a quick decision, can't be delayed. And I told Alex, like, the arm strength there when you tried to get that ball there before the defender was able to get there and he picked it off. I know quarterbacks have a tendency to do that. They think that their arm is fast enough, strong enough to get a ball there. Some of these defenders are extremely fast, and they can close that gap a lot quicker sometimes than you can get the ball there. So that's why the ball has to be out before. When your guy is, before he makes that final step and make that cut, that ball should be right there, right on time for them, so they can grab and go, or grab and they get tackled, or whatever it is. But you got to get the ball out, man. You got to get the ball out. That was not the greatest play from you. I think that the Detroit is on the right path as a team and organization. I think you guys did a fantastic job last night playing against the Cowboys. So
let's talk about before we up that we the Super Bowl team. The Racer like a Fortnite game.
Last week that was a very a big exciting game. It was a lot of hype behind it. I think for the 49ers, if I was coach there, I would have definitely calmed you guys down. I think you guys were playing with way too much energy. The difference between what you guys brought to the table and the Ravens is that you guys beat yourself because you guys were just so excited. This was a game that you guys probably had on your bulletin board, and you were just anxious to play and show who was the better team out there. I have no doubt that if there is a rematch, that I think you guys hopefully will be a little bit more on the relaxed end, so that you guys can focus better, because a lot of those mistakes was just simply just over anxious, too much adrenaline. So, but and not to take nothing away from Lamar. Lamar has grown quite a bit as a player. He used to be one of those quick to pull the ball down and run, right? And now he shows that he's dangerous. He can do both. He can stay in the pocket or he can run. Um,
Okay.
so
Now, the time has come that to our play for the week.
okay.
We got the Eagle. I can't look. Big game for the Eagle because he can't but you. Yeah, thing is, again, I pick it, go big Eagle. How about you?
This is a game the Eagles definitely need. And there's no doubt. Hopefully, they don't overlook the
Yeah.
Cardinals because the Cardinals are going to definitely come to play. They would love to do nothing
Yeah.
else but to spoil that for the Eagles. But hopefully, your team is ready.
Mm-hmm.
And last week against the Giants, they
Yeah.
played well. The Giants came to play.
Yeah.
For sure. And that was a much different game than it was a year ago when the Giants played the Eagles. So, in both the playoffs and the regular season. So, hopefully you guys are mentally ready and your team is understand what has to be done. If not, you guys obviously be playing on the road on your way to the playoffs. You guys already clinched the playoff seed. So, who's next?
We got to put up what is committed that game mean nothing.
Well, it does. It means something because look, the 49ers still technically lead the conference, right?
Yeah.
They still lead the conference. Well, the 49ers beat the Eagles and the Cowboys, so they have that tiebreaker there. So that's not the issue. But what I'm saying is that you don't want to get relaxed.
Yeah.
And if you're the 49ers, you lost last week.
Yeah.
So nothing should matter more than this week is to make up the fact that you lost last week.
Yeah.
And even though that was a non-conference game, still at the end of the day, it was a loss.
They
and it was against a pretty good rival, a team that I think right now this year is showing that they're the best team in the league, which is the Ravens. So hopefully the 49ers are ready to play. So I'm going to go with the 49ers over the Commanders.
I'm going to pick it going to be what I get up there today.
Okay.
We got a big game. We got the winner. I can call big game. And the winner still hoping for that title. That do a title.
Well, look, yeah, they're still in the hunt because the Chiefs have not played well this season. And they probably wouldn't have as many victories as they had if it wasn't for some of the officiating in some of those games, which goes back to what I was saying. They would not be leading in the division right now. So, but you know what? We'll give kudos to the Raiders for their last week play against them.
Yeah.
They definitely went to Kansas City with the intentions to win, and they pulled off the victory there. If you guys keep the same mindset going into this week, you will accomplish that goal. So.
Yeah, big game for 14 coach.
So who's your pick?
I'm gonna pick it up with I believe with how improve after firing job potato.
I think the Raiders are improved because the coach is trying to change the culture and the mindset, and I think if he's able to change that, they're going to be on the same path like the Detroit Lions. The Lions had no other choice but to buy into what their coach was bringing. And look, towards the end of last season, they played pretty well, and then they went right into the season with the same mentality. They all bought in. So if the Raiders buy in to their coach, there's no doubt they could pull this victory off. But my pick would be the Colts.
But for me, I'm gonna pick the winner. We got a bill and a paper. I got big game for the bill, not a big game for the paper. Looking for a job, not for the paper. I'm gonna pick a bill.
I think Allen and the Bills will get it done today.
Yeah, I don't think a bit.
I think this is they're at a point they know they have to focus and try to be that number 2 seed in their division.
Yeah. I think the should have a good day today.
Okay.
Who at the top of that? I got a big game for you.
Yeah, Yeah, well, they got to get their quarterback back,
Yeah.
and I know he was under the concussion protocol since
Yeah.
the Jets game and everything, but um, I would like to see the young man finish the season strong.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Houston today.
We got pit again. Both teams need to win the game. Oh, you can put off. How about you?
This is a hard one because this is actually a playoff game in a sense because both these teams, even though they're two separate
Yeah.
conferences, they need the victory so that they can hopefully make it into the playoffs. I'm just gonna say the AFC playoff picture is a little bit more complex for the
Yeah.
Steelers. They're gonna need some help to get to the playoffs. Seattle, on the other hand, they're gonna need some help too. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say they probably, if they win, they have a lot. I think a bigger increased chance of getting to the playoffs. So, but my pick, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh today.
But what of course you pick up you I really put it on that, but give me pick up.
Okay.
I don't pick up the captain. I got back up. Of course, the big game.
Ah,
I hate you.
a juicy game.
I
A
hate
juicy
you. A
game.
couple years ago.
We know Patrick Mahomes and them are gonna definitely want to go on a tear. They need this victory.
Yeah.
And obviously the Bengals is wounded because Burrows is not there, but
Yeah.
their backup has done pretty well for them. Um, if they get this victory, and it's just something about Cincinnati and Kansas City when these two teams play,
Yeah.
it has always seemed to favor the Bengals. So I'm going to stick with that trend. I'm going to pick the Bengals over the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs will end up definitely being on the road to go into the playoffs.
Of course, I can't wait to the game. The game is gonna be epic. Hopefully, when you put I go a bit more. I was rooting. Yeah, I was going to the game. It's about that game. We got the bear. Hey, hey. Oh no. Go talk again.
Okay, Bears, Falcons. Oh my. You know what? I'll go with the Bears. I'm gonna go with the Bears. It's been quiet with them, and I mean, right now they can just have fun and just spoil things for the Falcons. We know that the Falcons
Yeah.
are competing in a division for a chance to win that division as well as get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Of
I'm gonna pick the Bears.
course, I'm gonna think it's gonna be the bear. I believe the bear will knock the Falcons out of the playoffs. They and Detroit that year.
Last year, that last game, Rodgers' last game with
Yeah.
the Packers.
Yeah. I believe the game. Give me the bear.
Okay.
We got the Buccaneers at the day.
Division game.
The game put up hope and dream on the bell. And the Buccaneers who are to today. They will be in the put up and then now that they will be fighting again for that week. How about you?
I'm gonna pick the Saints. I'm gonna pick the Saints because I think if they win, that tightens up that division, and then it's gonna come down to next week gameplay. Super juicy.
Of course, I gotta pick the Buccaneers to the game.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield. I gotta go get it done right here. We got the Panther at Jacksonville. Oh boy, Jacksonville. Not a good week. That week.
Yeah, last week again, like I was talking about with golf and Detroit, It was
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah.
Their timing was disrupted. Quarterback did not play well, I think, in that game. Although they were in the game, he just didn't play well. And I don't know,
Yeah.
if there was anything else personally going on other than
Mhm.
just not being on his game last week. But gotta be on a game this week. Wait, we didn't pick.
I pick the Panther. How about you?
I'm gonna pick Jacksonville.
We got the Broncos and the Chargers. Both. This game.
This is a mess right now. Obviously,
Yeah.
everyone knows what's been going on with the Broncos and that Russell Wilson and the contract thing.
Yeah.
This is really ugly, and this was a distraction from just to play the game and try to get to the playoffs and maybe even win your division.
Yeah.
Because your division leader isn't playing well right now. And I feel bad for the Bronco fans because instead of being able to just finish out your season and maybe get a playoff game, now it's like you have all of this mess internally.
Yeah.
Internal stuff should stay quiet and behind the scenes. And the fact that this has been all over the press and stuff, what a mess. But I'm gonna just say this: look, if the Chargers win, this is it for Denver. They will not get another chance to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then next season, I guess they go through their rebuilding process and they'll make changes then. But that should have waited. This all should have waited until the season was over.
Yeah. Broncos that 2 weeks. Head coach John Payton can't wait for 2 weeks to make the quarterback change. Yeah. It's the Chargers today. Oh yeah. Yeah. I feel bad for the Broncos.
I feel bad too. I mean, this is just awful.
Yeah.
Awfully done. Very unprofessional.
For me, I hope for the Broncos, but I'm gonna pick the Chargers. We get the win. And the Chargers. Oh boy, that's hard. The quarterback and the head coach. That week I get the Eagles. The head coach took Thomas to root out again. People want to watch that team.
Look, the young man has been growing, right?
Yeah.
Now he wasn't drafted. You bring him into your organization. You give him an opportunity. He's growing. I think there is nothing more damaging to a young quarterback as a coach that does not show the confidence in him and his gameplay or give him an opportunity to legit play the game. He's not gonna be perfect because he's growing, he's learning.
Yeah.
I think Giant fans know that this season has not been the anticipated season that they had last year, although they wanted that. But you take him out and you put Taylor in, and Taylor didn't. And no disrespect to you, Taylor, but when you came back on the field, you guys went right back to the exact same formula, which was run the football, which Dorito could have just continued to do.
Yeah.
Other than the long pass down the field, there was not that big of a change in gameplay as far as what was brought to the table between these two quarterbacks. You have this quarterback issue because you guys made, as an organization, poor decisions in the picks that you guys have gotten, and salary cap problems.
Yeah.
Just front office is what damaged this team. I miss the days of the NFC East being the most physical division in all of football, being a dominating division in all of football. And I'll say even that's part of why the Cowboys aren't the same teams that they were. People will go back, I guess for people who know that came from that generation, that era of the Cowboys, you're looking for that same team today. You're not going to have it. First of all, the rules in the league has changed, so you can't really be as physical. Lord knows if you did that, there's penalties and fines and everything else that comes behind it. But the division as a whole has not played well, and it's definitely haven't lived up to the reputation that division once had. When you went to the NFC East and you were an outside team and you came there, you pretty much got punched in the face, whether it was by the Cowboys, the Giants, Washington, or the Eagles. And even all the way back in when the Cardinals was in that division. You just don't see that anymore. That division has gotten weak. They do not play with the same intensity. Those teams used to have, they used to be all about their defense. And the names of the players on the defense was recognizable. Like you knew when you were going to New York what you were going to be facing. You knew when you went to the Eagles, you knew who you were going to be facing. Like these guys were beasts. The sacks, the tackles. It's not there. Without the physicality in that division, I don't ever see it coming back to the glory days of being that division. It's the reason why those teams in that division combined hold the most Super Bowl trophies than any other division in the league. And it was because of what that division represented if you came to the NFC East. The NFC East as a whole has not played at that level of football. And it's been a really, really long time. The ownerships of those teams aren't investing in that. And they're investing to fill the seats. Right? They get the seats. The fans come out and play, come out to support, but you're just not seeing that. And I've noticed a shift around the league. Every now and then you'll have 4 teams in a division that are very competitive and they're playing, and that becomes the most entertaining division in football. Each year has changed, but the NFC East has not been there for, I'm going to say, probably almost easily 15 years, where when you had the rivals, it meant something to watch. It used to mean something when you watch Chicago versus the Packers. It's one of the oldest rivals in the league. That was a game everyone wanted to see, even if you wasn't from the area. It doesn't live up to that anymore. The league has made some changes with their rules, and it has definitely impacted the game itself. So,
the bad figure out is to try to get big thing figure out where guy was looking.
Yeah, the Rams is competing for a playoff opportunity. They have been a quiet team this season to get to this point. Can the Giants be a spoiler? Look, they tried last week against the Eagles. And we know that the Eagles is a much better team right now than the Rams. If they play with that same intensity, then maybe they get a victory today and mess up the Rams' hopes. But I'm pretty sure Seattle is going to be cheering for New York because they would love nothing more than to see New York ruin the Rams' opportunity, because then that helps them a lot. So we have to wait and see. But I'm just going to tell you this. Look, Giants, Rams, the history has always favored the Rams. And that's just the fact of the matter. Whether they play in New York or whether they play out in California, it's always been a thing between the Giants and the Rams have always been more of the favorite of the two.
Okay. So I pick it. Go pick away. How about you?
I'm going to pick with the Giants. Obviously, I'm going to stick with them. So
We got good day. A lot game to get in.
Yeah, big division matchup between the two.
I get a good bit of hoping for a put up. Hoping for going.
They're buying into their coach's system, and we started seeing development with the team, and so I think they're going to get better come next year. So.
Well, for me, I'm gonna pick a Packer.
Okay, I will pick Minnesota.
And I found that game that was up. Oh boy, that I got the Ravens and the Dolphins and this game is a playoff game.
Oh, definitely, it's a playoff game. These two teams may meet in the playoffs. This may be an AFC Championship preview between the two. I'm excited to see the speed of the Dolphins versus, right now, I'm going to say the best team in the league, which is the Ravens. But my pick today will be Miami.
for me, this game is a good game. Hopefully, it live up to the hype. Hey, it could be a championship game, it could be a good game, it could be a playoff game. And it could be Miami taking the number one seed.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Put it at home for the whole playoff.
I'm pretty sure everybody on the AFC side probably hope that Miami gets the home field advantage. You know why? Because it's warm down there in Florida versus playing in Maryland, you know, or any other teams, Kansas City, you know, these other teams that are playoff bound. So,
So, I gonna pick it's gonna be gracious to get, I believe, both the teams will maybe 35-40.
okay. Well, I would love to see just completely high scoring between these two teams. This could be game of the year between these two. I mean, look, today's the last day of the year.
Happy New Year.
Although we have one more week left of the regular season, we're going into the new year, and so 2024, we hope to bring a whole bunch of great football coming ahead. Hopefully, that incident last night, we will hopefully not see the season finish out that way. I would really like to see a better officiating in the league, and so.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Now we're going to compare the league. That a team. Give me Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco?
Yeah,
Okay,
give me Joe Flacco. I go. We're going to put good football with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, look, he came back into the league. He's helping him, and he's playing pretty well right now.
He was on the couch.
Yeah, he was on the couch.
He was on the couch on football. Go back home. Come back in.
Congratulations, Flacco.
Yeah, go back.
Player of the week from Sports Talk, Alex and Felix.
Yeah.
Congratulations with that. So, I look forward to next week. I know who we're gonna pick for Player of the Week, and so I'm excited based off this week's performance so far. So I think this week has been pretty interesting. And just so you guys know, I know yesterday was Saturday, and they were showing Monday Night Football on Saturday. It wasn't a time warp or some weirdness. It was real Monday Night Football. It's just that that was going to be, a special game for them to do on a Saturday. So
Monday Night Football.
Yes.
Monday Night Football because they were happening and Sunday Night Football over down. So it's the final week of football. two games on Saturday. Next week, a game on Saturday. And normal fucking night football update. But who knows? Maybe the league will keep it.
Yes.
But
So, anyway, folks, we thank you guys for tuning in. We look forward to week 18 next week.
Week 18. That.
Yes.
That because one more week and then put up. 4 weeks in the put up one come on at the big game, the Super Bowl.
So, just want to apologize. I know we missed a week.
Yeah,
he was sick.
Again.
Obviously, again, yes. We're in this season where, with the flu and all this stuff, and this boy just cannot seem to avoid not getting sick. So, we're sorry to our fans that we wasn't able to do our picks.
Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays.
Happy
to everyone
New
out
Year.
there, and Happy New Year because
today is the last day of the
last
year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Happy New Year, happy holidays. We'll see you in week 18 at the end of the hour.